I know He rescued my soul. His blood has covered my sin. I believe. I believe. My shame He's taken away. My pain is healed in His name. I believe. I believe. I'll raise a banner. Oh, 'cause my Lord has conquered the grave. My Redeemer lives. My Redeemer lives. My Redeemer lives. My Redeemer lives. I know He rescued my soul. His blood has covered my sin. I believe. I believe. My shame He's taken away. My pain is healed in His name. I believe. I believe. I'll raise a banner. Oh, 'cause my Lord has conquered the grave. My Redeemer lives. 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 You lift my burdens. I'll rise with you. I'm dancing on this mountaintop to see your kingdom come. My Redeemer lives. 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 My Redeemer lives.
Hello, JRAM kids! How's everyone today? Awesome! I'm Ate Kat from JRAM Surrey. Are you ready for another lesson? That's great! Who remembers what we learned from last week? You're right! Pastor Isa taught us about honesty. And for today, we will hear a story about how God called a man named Abram to follow Him. And we will hear a story about the promises that God made to him. Do you have your Bibles with you? Perfect. Let's start. What does it mean to have a promise to someone? Can you describe a time when you have made a promise or someone else has made a promise to you? We don't keep 100% of the promises we make, do we? We might really have a good intentions to do what we say we'll do, but sometimes we forget or we decide that we'd rather do something else entirely. There's only one person who keeps his promises 100% all the time. And you know who it is? You got it right. That's God. So a man by the name of Abram was living in the city of Haran when he heard God's voice telling him to pack up his family and his belongings and moved to the land of Canaan. Abram was 75 years old that time. Can you imagine if God asked you to leave behind everything that was familiar to you, to go to a foreign land where you didn't know anyone? How do you think you would respond to God? As hard as it must have been for Abram to leave behind 75 years worth of memories, he trusted God and he obeyed. Abram believed that God uses people he calls to fulfill his promises. So Abram packed up his family, his wife Sarai, his cousin Lot, his servants, and all their belongings, and they set out for the land of Canaan just like God had told him to do. God must have known that Abram needed some encouragement because God also gave him his promise. Let's read Genesis chapter 12 verses 2 to 3. I will make you into a great nation and I will bless you. I will make your name great and you will be a blessing. And all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. Wow! What a promise! God told Abram that he would make his family so big that they would become their own nation. God also said that the whole world would be blessed because of his family. What makes these promises so miraculous is that Abram was 75 years old at that time, and he and his wife Sarai didn't have any children. Abram might not have understood exactly how God was going to fulfill his promise, but he knew that he could trust God's plan because God uses people he calls to fulfill his promises. Abram and his family arrived at the land of Canaan where God told him to go. When they arrived, Abram built an altar to the Lord and worshipped him there. Then God said, "Look as far as you can see in every direction, north and south, east and west. I am giving all this land as far as you can see to you and to your descendants as a permanent possession. And I will give you so many descendants that like the dust of the earth, they cannot be counted. Go and walk through the land in every direction, for I am giving it to you." God promised that the whole world would be blessed through Abram's family. You see, God knew that ever since Adam and Eve sinned in the Garden of Eden, people had a great problem. That problem was sin, and it separated them from God. God knew the people he created needed to be rescued and saved, but there was nothing they could do to save themselves. But God had a rescue mission all planned out from the very beginning, and he would use Abram and his family to bring it about. Did you know that Jesus was born into Abram's family? Yes, you heard it right. God used Abram to be the father of a great nation to the Israelites, and Jesus would come into the world through that nation. God would use Abram's family to bring salvation to the entire world. Abram had no idea at that time what an important role God called him to do. But he trusted God and believed that God uses people he calls to fulfill his promises. So what are the three things that God promised Abram? Number 1, he would be a great nation. Number 2, the world would be blessed through his family. Number 3, God would give them the land of Canaan. So we've learned today that God uses his people he calls to fulfill his promises. Did you learn something today? That's great. So kids, that wraps up our lesson for today. We'll see you again next week for another JRAM Kids lesson. Have a great day.
Hey kids, today we do not have an activity because our activity time is actually in our very first Zoom Kids Costume Party! Yay! We are so excited to see what you come dressed up as, but please remember, if you still want to join, you still have time by signing the waiver form that is attached to the Zoom Party promo. The call starts at 12 p.m. BC time. We hope to see you there. Bye!
Hi, I'm AJ. I'm from Durham, Edmonton North. This is my verse. Psalm 40, verse 4. Blessed is the man who makes their Lord his trust. His trust. To the Dutch, turn to the proud. To those who go astray after a lie. Thank you.
Hi, it's me again, Asian, and I'll be saying my memory verse this week. Psalms chapter 40, verse 4. Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust, who does not turn to the proud, to those who go astray after a lie. Bye! See you again next time.